Hello there, it's Randy Marcotte. The team has asked me to record one of the latest things that I'm excited about in the technology. So if you've not met me before, I'm one of the co-owners of Perfect Video Conferencing. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the WePresent. It's a wireless presentation software and access point that we use in conjunction with our video conferencing sales. And I have mine plugged into the back of our LifeSize unit. So it's the LifeSize Phone 2 that you see here. I'm connecting over LifeSize Video Center, and across from me in a cabinet is the LifeSize codec. That codec has an input which we usually wire to a laptop for presentation purposes. That instead of running that wire over to me, I'm actually running it directly to one of these Wi-Fi devices. So it's only recently gone for sale in the U.S. It's called the WePresent. We buy it through distribution, so we're a great place to purchase this. We'll soon actually have it up on our web store at globalcall.com. Fairly simple infrastructure. So a couple of USB ports in the front. If you power switch. If you want to plug in a keyboard and a monitor directly to the device, so you can use this as a management console directly, perfectly fine to do that. And on the back, it presents HDMI out to a TV. And in this case, instead of doing HDMI out to the TV, we're doing that directly to the LifeSize unit. So I'm going to show next, I've just started a presentation on the LifeSize infrastructure. I'm going to show next the what you get presented wirelessly from the WePresent. So that's the actual WePresent management console. If you connect it directly, if you have a mouse connected to the device, you can navigate through the setup items that you see there, which is how I set it up. I created I already had a Wi-Fi network set up here in the office, and I had this network or this device join my existing wireless network. So rather than creating a separate access point, I joined on that. And once I did, you see that it presents you an IP address. Once I have that IP address, I can go to the admin interface. You'll see this when I do some desktop sharing. I'm actually do a demo of how this works. But you can download the software so that you've got the user interface from Windows and a Mac. There is a mobile device application that goes with this. You can physically control the behavior of a conference. If you use that pairing code that you see at the top right, it's asking for the password. And then you can get into the admin, which is if you're going to go in and make some changes to the actual Wi-Fi access point. I'm not going to do any of that today. You're welcome to dial in, but I did want to actually show it in action and talk about what we like and dislike about the product, just because I think it's good to weigh the pros and cons of this carefully. There are some upsides to this device, and it makes it the right deployment in some environments, and there's some downsides that really might not fit all environments. So I just wanted to highlight some of those that we thought were key for our experience. So before doing that, I'm going to go ahead and actually pair with device. So I'm going to use the software. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see that again. So much like any application, it's in my programs. I launched the program, and it's going to look for, I've already paired with it, so the IP address that was, and I forgot to put the code in there, so it's going to error out on me. It already had the IP address and already knew this computer, so the first time you log in, you have to enter the IP address again, which presents to you on the screen. And then the pairing code. So I'm going to do that 7916 that you see there and connect. Once I've connected, you'll see that the screen changes. It shows that someone has paired. And then what is being presented to LifeSize then changes to my desktop. It takes a moment for it to refresh. Once it does, you now have my desktop. It's in an active play mode, which I could stop. The quadrants here, this 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you have multiple people paired with the WePresent, each of you can occupy different corners of the device. I'm going to take full screen here. I think that feature is pretty cool myself. So it does actively follow your desktop to the devices we've done here. But now to kind of the pluses and minuses of what we do or we don't like. So on the positive side, it's wireless. So I've gone wirelessly to the device and connected. And it automatically scaled to the LifeSize presentation needs. And so I've got a resolution that changed here on my laptop. When I hit play, what shows up on the screen is in high definition. It's 1080p. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to change anything. I just paired. It's very inexpensive, $600 for not only a guest Wi-Fi access point that's completely secure, but also a guest access point that can join your existing network. So if you've done access points, it's relatively cheap in the enterprise space for a device of this quality. And then you can, the other thing is that you can easily push content to multiple quadrants. Those are the things we like about it. What problems does it solve? The expensive wiring, quite frankly. And some of these rooms that we design in just don't have the space for or the interest in conduit or cabling or table cubbies. And so there are some rooms that this is going to be the perfect solution for. The form factor's tiny. It'll fit on the back of a television. And that's how we're going to mount some of ours, is actually have it hidden to the end user, connected behind the TV. By design, it does have a power switch on the front of it. So if we've powered it off, it does need to physically be turned on, because there may be cases where you don't want a guest access point in a conference room. So you need to leave it accessible, but not in the way. And what I do also like about it, if you look at the back panel of it, it has an Ethernet connection from it. So if you're concerned about not having a purposely built laptop, you can actually deploy a computer directly to this and wire directly. So some people are not interested in the speed of wireless. You'll see that the refresh rate here is good. It's not immediate on the mouse, but it's better than anything I've seen that's wireless, and it certainly does the job for slideshows and presentations, and my transitions are mostly spot on. There's a couple of seconds delay, and again, I'd put that on the negative side as far as what we do. But for years, as we've been doing desktop sharing and video content, people have asked us for something wireless, and finally there's something here. So on the downsides, and where it might not be the right thing for some customers, it is a network device, and so this is a different install. We normally are dealing with the facilities folks, or someone who's doing room scheduling or managing the AV infrastructure. And while those people still need to be involved, this is now an IT project, and so there's the questions about whether or not you put this device on your network, or if you give people access to your network because of this device. And so we need IP addressing. I did this one as a DHCP connection and left it with the basic settings. It joined my existing network. It is not handing out DHCP, but it is grabbing an IP address from the existing network. When you go into the admin console, you can see that it can do lots of other things, including create a new wireless network, a guest network, and hand out a DHCP scope. All of those features you can turn off, but that's a network event, not an AV event. And so on the negative side, some people might not want another IP device, either broadcasting IP addresses or handing them out via DHCP. It does have a password on it, so you do have to join the device in order to connect. Another, small downside might be the actual IP address phenomenon, that it presents an IP address and a pairing code. There's software you have to download, and some users just want to plug in. They don't have to think about a browser. They don't want to think about, where do I put an IP address in so that it can actually connect to the WePresent, and so it's not going to be the right solution for all users. In that room, you might want to just have a computer that's already paired, and they go to the software, they hit play, but in a bring your own computer device or bring your own laptop in, you solve that either by, doing it for them, having them set up ahead of time, potentially having the software on a USB key so they can download it rather than having to pair. Again, it's a network device, it's an IP address, so some users might not want to do that pairing, might not want to do that software download, and they just want to plug in. So if that's your room and that's your user, let's go hardwired, which is much more expensive to be done right. But it's again plug and play. It's a cable, and that's what we've done for years in video conferencing. So a small negative that you might not want to pair. I mentioned that it's a different Wi-Fi access point, and so on the network side, now that you've come into the network, do you actually want to create another rogue access point? And then software is not perfect. It's a new product, and so because there may be bugs, we've not really experienced too many problems with the software. The one thing we'll say about AV is that when we do an AV room hardwired with AMX or Crestron deployments, or just straight cabling from a LifeSize box to a computer, we know it works. We know there's not any breakpoints, and we know we can power cycle it without it sort of acting funky on us. So that simplicity makes for end user satisfaction. Because this is, again, a software device, an access point, and another point of IT impact, we haven't seen it yet, but there could be, and we want to warn against the idea that this is now something that's slightly different to remotely support. You have to get onto the network, you have to get into this device if end users are having problems. So when we're planning our support, we'll want to make sure that if we're going to deploy one of these, either you take control of this device and do some self-training on it, or we train you on it, or you have us come in and make sure we're managing the device for you, or troubleshooting it when an end user has a problem. So it is, not as simple as powering it on and turning it on if there's a problem. So you have to get into it and know how to manage a router. So pluses and minuses, again, different rooms, different deployments, but I'm very excited about the fact that it's wireless, it's super inexpensive, and super simple to use. If I can do it, so can you. So best number to reach us at is 516-282-2880. Oftentimes you'll talk to Melissa at extension 114. I'm at extension 181, and Mike Granados is at extension 180. Thanks for your time.